I'm not exactly sure, but just if you Google Bill Clinton giving interview for BP, I'm sure you'll be able to. It'll pop up on YouTube.
Okay, we'll try to get it posted. Thank you, Tim. Ron in Arizona, you're on the air. Go ahead, Ron.
Good afternoon, Alex and Patriots. They haven't been spraying chemtrails in Prescott, Arizona area for over a month, and I have no idea. Barry Soetoro has never committed any act of treason because he is not an American citizen. He is a foreign agent working for the international banksters.
But it's still, I agree, but it's espionage. And if people get one message, it's this. Globalism is tyranny. It is foreign banking, corporate takeovers through fraud. It is espionage. And so all these corporate officials that are here in the U.S. conspiring to defraud the taxpayers are enemy operatives, and they need to be seized immediately and given a trial, and then they need to be dealt with. Go ahead.
I agree with you, Alex. I just ask you to make that point clear, because he is a foreign agent working for foreign banksters who are trying to destroy this country. And the last thing is, there's an ancient Hebrew saying that goes, quote, "O my people, those who oppress you are children, and women rule over you. O my people, those who guide you lead you astray and confuse the paths and confuse your paths." What we need to do in this country is get the women out of Congress, put men back in, and quit relying on women to save us, because the Bible says that is not going to save us.
Well, I appreciate your call. I know this. There are a lot of really smart, intelligent women. There are women smarter than I am, a lot smarter. But men and women are different. And there has never been a society that has done the things we're doing that survived. And we're going to collapse. I mean, people don't like to hear it. They don't like to know it. But human society is supposed to work a certain way. And it's been destroyed. And the family's gone. No one's secure. Our women under feminism have been turned into totally insecure trollops, dressed up like whores. Our children are dying and on drugs, and we're destroyed. Hitler said, first you get the women, then you got the children, so follow the men. It's not that women are bad, any more bad than men. It's that women want security. And women tend to, in history, be very trusting of government. And they statistically are today. And so over 80% of purchases are decided by women. What color is the furniture? What color are the drapes? What brand of milk? What brand of eggs? I mean, women make my wife makes almost all the decisions. I'm here working on this. My wife probably makes 90% of the decisions. And if somebody could get control of my wife, they'd run my house. They would run my life. And that's why Hitler said, first you get the women, you got the children, so follow the men. That's an exact quotation. And Goebbels was obsessed with it. First you get the women, then you've got the children, so follow the men. And they've got the women, folks. I mean, the women support the CPS because they think, oh, the CPS is helping the children. Oh, meanwhile, the CPS is hunting women, taking their kids. It's admitted. And it doesn't mean men aren't lazy and gullible and dumb. It's just that there's a natural order of things. And so don't worry, America's going completely down. We're all completely screwed, and it will be a bunch of people like Andrew Napolitano and all those hunchback women they got in the Supreme Court ruling us.
Global meltdowns, massive unemployment, endless wars, a new currency crisis, financially and morally bankrupt. A great and terrible storm is approaching. So what's the best way to get ready, to get prepared for hard times ahead? Introducing Off the Grid News, a weekly newsletter for independent patriots who want practical advice on how to survive and prosper in an increasingly dangerous world. It's the best way to get a black belt in emergency preparedness, survival skills, and off-the-grid living. Off the Grid News is fiercely independent Independent, all about self-reliance and packed with helpful information on survival gardening, food preparation, alternative energy, herbal medicines, privacy and security, as well as God, gold, and guns, with absolutely no apologies. And the best part, this $100 a year service is now free of charge for our listeners. That's right, free for our listeners who sign up at offthegridnews.com. That's offthegridnews.com. You can sign up free at offthegridnews.com. offthegridnews.com.
The question is, where should the American people draw their line in the sand?
What have we got? A republic or a monarchy?
A republic is based on a constitution which protects minority rights.
Not democracy, not mob rule, two wolves and a sheep voting on what's for dinner.
So they think they own our land, they think they own our water, children, our education, our money.
We have to define who we are and what we will tolerate.
Somebody's going to ask you what you did during the Patriot Uprising.
You are being warned.
We have the facts. We have the Constitution. We have the Bill of Rights. We have common law. Knowledge is power, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm so excited to be able to offer you Don't Tread on Me. Rise of the Republic. Tyranny is upon us, but liberty and the sleeping giant that is the American people is rising. A new tool in the info war. Don't Tread on Me. Order it at Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139 and support independent, patriotic Liberty films.
Don't answer it.
If fear strikes your heart when the phone rings, knowing it may be another bill collector, it's time for you to call Zero Debt in 90 days. 800-477-9256. Settlements, bankruptcy, and attorneys are not the answer and may end up costing you up to 10 times more than necessary. Listen, if you're already in debt, does it make sense to get buried in another payment plan? Zero Debt in 90 days gets you out of debt in 90 days guaranteed, without a payment plan and without attorneys or going to court. Get the fastest relief from debt on the planet when you call 800-477-9256. If you have debt with the IRS, credit cards, student loans, or a foreclosure, we can help at Zero Debt in 90 days, and we are the only organization to provide written guarantees on the results. Go to ZeroDebtGuaranteed.com. That's ZeroDebtGuaranteed.com. Or call now for free information. 800-477-9256. That's 800-477-9256.
Look at this AP headline. Army drops PSYOPs name from influence operations. The Army has dropped the Vietnam-era name Psychological Operations for its branch that is in charge of changing minds by enemy lines. Acknowledging the term can sound ominous. What do you think hydrogen bombs dropping on you is? Ominous? What do you think a Hellfire missile shooting into your mud hut is? Ominous? That's what the Pentagon does, is it dominates and controls. And the Pentagon admits it now works for Wall Street. And what is Wall Street? A bunch of inbred bankers who think that we should all basically die because they have Ponzi schemed all the wealth of the world into their hands, but they did it through fraud, and so they need to get rid of us so they can enjoy it all. And they're in control of killers that have bioweapons that can kill even subgroups in the human race. By subgroups, I mean even down to villages. Even down to just very delicate genetic variations. It's like they've got hundreds of species of perch, and most of them are subspecies. That's what I mean by that. They've got bioweapons where they can tailor it right down. You're not in Kansas anymore. Big decisions have been made. They don't want 6, 7, 8 billion of you sucking your thumbs watching football, folks. They want you deader than a hammer. And I know most of you are so brain damaged and so chemically lobotomized, you can't even understand me right now. But we've got listeners who do care and are involved. You know, I said I'd get to this, and I'm going to cover it at the start of the show because I want to be able to go to Coyote and Michael and Pastor. And, I mean, just look at all these articles I didn't get to. I've got a whole bunch of police state articles here. The First Amendment has been suspended. CNN. That's their story. BP, Homeland Security, and cops work together to deny First Amendment in a 3-state area. There's no law. They just do it. It's called tyranny. BP cops detain reporter for taking pictures of oil refinery in Houston. Not allowed to, for PBS to cover something. Spy tech that monitors conversations being launched in Europe report. Raw story. This is out of a bunch of other mainstream articles. They used to call them gunshot detectors, but now they admit the NSA is recording everything and running it through a database. I'll cover this tomorrow. It's so important. I got to give each caller 1 minute now. Coyote in Colorado, go ahead. Coyote, go ahead.
Hey, Alex, Coyote.
Hey, buddy, what's up?
No, not a whole heck of a lot. Anyway, Matt Ryan has an incredible article on InfoWars that people need to go to. It's called "Why Are Police Abusing the Elderly?" And it's an incredible article. People need to go in and read it and comment. Also, the Core Exit 9500 dispersant that BP is using on the oil spill, it literally disperses the oil into the water. It becomes soluble in water and makes it impossible for oil booms or for skimmers to remove the oil. It is the worst thing that they could be doing right now.
No, I've seen a lot of experts in this saying that, and it's so toxic, and it allows then a lot of the base elements that are poisonous, the heavy metals, the other chemicals, to then become soluble in water so that it can be lifted up into the atmosphere.